Good evening, and welcome to the Sleepy Storyteller. Tonight, we will quietly leave behind the noisy, rushing world outside and sink, slowly and comfortably, into the most mysterious and cozy place that exists, deep inside ourselves. Together, we begin a gentle, surprising journey. Over the next 90 minutes, we will explore 150 remarkable facts about the human body and brain, how they work, how they cooperate, and why we are such extraordinary biological machines. This will be soft, curious, and maybe even a little magical. We'll learn, we'll smile, and we'll drift through thoughts that make us marvel at who we are. So now, please, make yourself comfortable. Wrap up in a blanket, prepare your favorite warm drink, dim the lights a little. Allow your mind to rest, and your awareness to wander along with me. Let us begin with what gives us life at the most microscopic level, scale. And here comes our first fact. The adult human body is made up of around 30 to 40 trillion cells. It's a number so vast, it's hard to truly imagine. If you could count one cell every second, it would take you over 1 million years to count them all. Yet all of them work together in perfect harmony to create you. And for our second fact, it might surprise you to learn that the number of bacteria in your body is even greater. You are an entire ecosystem, a walking, talking planet for trillions of tiny organisms. Don't worry, most of them are friendly and essential for your health. Now, let's zoom in even smaller. Every single one of those trillions of cells contains DNA. If you were to unwind all the DNA from all the cells in your body and lay it end to end, the strand would stretch from the sun to Pluto and back 17 times. Think about that for a moment. A library of information so vast, coiled up inside you, writing the story of your life with every beat of your heart. And speaking of your heart, let's move on to our fourth fact. Over an average lifetime, the human heart will beat more than 3 billion times. It pumps enough blood to fill about 200 train tank cars. It's an incredibly powerful muscle, tirelessly working for you every single second. Our fifth fact is about our amazing brains. The human brain contains about 86 billion neurons. These are the messengers that create every thought, feeling, and memory you've ever had. The connections between them are even more astonishing, numbering in the trillions. This network makes your brain the most complex object known in the universe, and it's all right there, inside your head. Fact number 6. Your brain generates about 12 to 25 watts of electricity. That's enough to power a low-wattage LED light bulb. So the next time someone has a bright idea, you'll know it's literally true. And finally, for our seventh fact tonight, let's consider our skin. It's our largest organ, constantly renewing itself. You shed about 30,000 to 40,000 dead skin cells every single minute. That might sound like a lot, but it's just your body's way of keeping you fresh and protected. You are always changing, always rebuilding, even when you're perfectly still. As we continue our journey, let these thoughts drift. There is no need to hold on to them. Just let them float by, like clouds in a calm night sky. Allow yourself to sink deeper into comfort as we prepare for the next set of wonders. Have you ever stopped to think about what you're truly made of? Not just in a philosophical sense, but physically. What are the building blocks that make you, you? The answers are more staggering and beautiful than you could ever imagine. Today, we're going on a journey deep inside ourselves to uncover 3 extraordinary facts about the human body that will change the way you see yourself forever. Let's start with your personal library. Imagine a single delicate thread, a thread of DNA. If you could gently pull the DNA from just one of your cells and stretch it out, it would measure around 2 meters long. That's taller than most people. Think about that for a second. A 2-meter-long instruction manual is coiled up inside a space so small you need a powerful microscope just to see the cell itself. It sounds impossible, doesn't it? Yet, it's true. But here's where it becomes truly overwhelming. If you could take the DNA from every single cell in your body, all 30 trillion or so of them, and tie them end to end, that single impossibly thin thread would stretch for tens of billions of kilometers. That's not just a long distance, it's a cosmic one. That thread would be long enough to travel from Earth to Pluto and back again. And not just once, but multiple times. Inside each and every one of us lies the equivalent of a cosmic library, an epic saga written in the language of molecules. For centuries, humanity knew that traits were inherited. People saw that children often resembled their parents, that eye color and height seemed to run in families. But how? The mechanism was a complete mystery. It wasn't until 1953, only one human lifetime ago, that the shape of our genetic code was finally revealed. This breakthrough didn't happen in a vacuum. It stood on the shoulders of incredible work, particularly the X-ray photographs captured in 1952 by a brilliant and often overlooked scientist, Rosalind Franklin. Her images were the key. Using her data to researchers, James Watson and Francis Crick pieced together the elegant double helix structure that we now all recognize. That iconic spiral staircase is where the story of every human begins. It's the blueprint for everything you are. From the blueprint, we move to the builders. Fact number 2, you are an architect of life. Your body is a living, breathing cathedral constructed from trillions of tiny living bricks. We call them cells. Approximately 37 trillion cells, to be more precise, form you as you are listening to me right now. This number isn't just a wild guess. The most accurate estimate we have comes from a landmark study published in the Annals of Human Biology back in 2013. That single paper became the most widely cited measurement of its kind, giving us a tangible sense of our own immense complexity. 37 trillion. It's a number so large it's hard to even comprehend. But for almost all of human history, we didn't even know cells existed. The world of the very small was completely hidden from us. Then, in 1665, an English scientist named Robert Hooke did something revolutionary. He took a thin slice of cork, placed it under a primitive microscope he had built, and looked. What he saw were tiny, empty chambers, arranged in a neat, orderly pattern. They reminded him of the small rooms in a monastery where monks lived, as he named them cells. Hooke had no idea what he had truly discovered. He was looking at the dead, empty walls of plant cells. He couldn't have known that, inside a living being like us, each cell is not an empty room, but a bustling, self-sustaining metropolis, teeming with activity. He saw stillness. Centuries later, we discovered the incredible, intricate dance of life happening within. Every single one of your 37 trillion cells is a tiny, complex machine, working tirelessly to keep you alive. They are the architects, the builders, and the maintenance crew of the incredible structure that is you. Now for our final and perhaps most mind-bending fact. We are not alone inside our own bodies. Not even close. You are an entire walking ecosystem. For decades, a popular scientific myth stated that bacteria in our bodies outnumbered our own human cells by a ratio of 10 to 1. It was a fascinating idea, but it turns out it wasn't quite right. More recent research, specifically a pivotal study from the Weizmann Institute of Science in 2016, refined this myth with incredible precision. The true ratio is much closer to 101. The numbers are still astronomical, around 38 trillion bacteria coexisting with your 30 trillion or so human cells. So, let that sink in. By sheer cell count, you are about half human, half bacteria. You are not simply a person. You are a planet, a habitat, an entire ecosystem teeming with life. Just like the cell, this invisible world was once completely unknown to us. The first human to witness these tiny animals, as he lovingly called them, was a Dutch cloth merchant named Antonie van Leeuwenhoek in the 1670s. He wasn't a trained scientist, but he was a master craftsman. He developed handmade lenses with unparalleled magnification for his time, far superior to anything else that existed. With these simple tools, he opened a door to an invisible universe. He looked at drops of pond water, at scrapings from his own teeth, and was astonished to find them swarming with microscopic life. Today, we understand that this invisible world within us, our microbiome, is not just a collection of passive passengers. They are active participants in our existence. These trillions of bacteria are essential. They help shape our digestion, breaking down food our bodies can't. They play a critical role in training and maintaining our immune system, protecting us from harmful invaders. And emerging science suggests they may even influence our moods, our cravings, and perhaps even aspects of our personality. The life within you helps make you who you are. So, what does this all mean? It means you are a universe. You contain a library of information so vast it could span the solar system. You are a magnificent structure built by trillions of diligent workers. And you are a vibrant, living ecosystem, a partnership between your own cells and trillions of microscopic allies. The next time you look in the mirror, I hope you see more than just a face. I hope you see the wonder. The cosmic library coiled in every cell, the bustling metropolis in each tiny part of you, and the teeming, vibrant ecosystem you carry with you every moment of your life. You are a masterpiece of biology, a testament to nearly 4 billion years of evolution on this planet. And that is truly something to be amazed by. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey inside ourselves. If you found these facts as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more explorations into the wonders of science. Until next time, stay curious. Did you know you're never truly alone, not even in your own skin? On your face, right now, especially around your eyelashes, live microscopic mites called Demodex. Sounds a little creepy, I know, but they are completely harmless. These tiny invisible companions have been with humanity for centuries. They were first described way back in 1841, but it wasn't until 2014 that scientists really understood how common they are. A study using DNA analysis at the University of North Carolina revealed something astonishing. 100% of adults host them. That's right, not some of us, every single one of us. So what are they doing there? They're actually our personal, microscopic cleanup crew. They quietly feed on dead skin cells and oils, mostly while we sleep. You'll never see them, never feel them, but they're there, a constant, silent part of your personal ecosystem. It's a fascinating example of symbiosis, a relationship where they benefit from us and we are completely unaffected. So next time you feel lonely, just remember, you have millions of tiny friends hanging out on your face, keeping you company. It puts a whole new spin on the idea of being alone, doesn't it? And that's not the only way your body is constantly changing. The very surface of your skin, the part of you that meets the world, is in a state of perpetual renewal. The outermost layer of your skin, the epidermis, is a bustling city of cells. And just like in any city, old residents move out and new ones move in. Most of the cells in your epidermis are replaced roughly every 2 to 4 weeks. Think about that for a moment. You are, in a very quiet and literal sense, wearing a new layer of yourself almost every single month. The skin you have today is not the same skin you had last month, and it won't be the same as the skin you'll have next month. We tend to think of ourselves as a fixed entity, the same person from day to day. But this constant, silent regeneration tells a different story. Your body never stops rebuilding you, cell by cell, layer by layer. It's a subtle reminder that change isn't just something that happens to us. It's a fundamental part of who we are, right down to our very skin. You are literally a work in progress every minute of every day. So if we're shedding our skin cells every few weeks, where do they all go? Well, you might want to sit down for this one. Over the course of your life, you will shed around 18 kilograms of dead skin. That's roughly the weight of a 4-year-old child. Let that sink in. 18 kilograms of you just flaking off over the years. Dermatology research has confirmed what you might be suspecting right now. A surprisingly large portion of the dust in your home is made of nothing other than you and everyone else who lives with you. Those little specks you see dancing in a sunbeam streaming through your window. A significant amount of that is tiny, cast-off pieces of human skin. We live surrounded by the dust of our own lives, a constant physical record of our presence in a space. It's a bit strange to think about, but it's also poetic. We are constantly leaving a part of ourselves behind, creating a tangible history in the very air we breathe. The next time you're dusting your shelves, remember, you're not just cleaning. You're tidying up a little bit of your own past. Now, let's go from the surface and dive deeper, right into the very essence of what you are. Have you ever considered that you are, in essence, a walking ocean? It sounds like poetry, but it's a biological fact. The adult human body is between 60 to 70% water. It's not just in our blood or our stomach, it's everywhere. Even our firmest tissues are saturated with it. A classic foundational study from 1945 by H. Mitchell, published in the Journal of Biological Chemistry, broke this down in incredible detail. The results are mind-boggling. Your brain, the very organ you're using to process this information right now, is about 73% water. And your lungs, the organs that pull oxygen from the air, are even wetter at about 83% water. We are creatures built from water, sustained by water. Our thoughts are born in a liquid medium. Our breaths are drawn into watery sacs. Every function, every process, every single spark of life within us is dependent on this internal ocean. It connects us to the very first life that emerged from the Earth's ancient seas. We carry that oceanic origin within us every single day. We aren't just living on a blue planet. We are, each of us, our own small blue world. And what's even more incredible is that this internal ocean has its own tides, its own currents. The water in your body isn't static. It's constantly in motion, flowing in and out of your cells, carrying nutrients and washing away waste. This dynamic, fluid environment is the stage upon which the entire drama of your life unfolds. The balance of this water is so crucial that a shift of just a few percent can have massive consequences for your health and consciousness. When you feel thirsty, that's your brain. Your 73% water brain sending out an alarm that the water levels in your internal ocean are getting low. So, when you take a drink of water, you're not just quenching your thirst. You are literally replenishing the very medium of your existence. You're topping up your brain, your lungs, your muscles. You are tending to the ocean within. It's a profound thought. We often look to the stars and feel a sense of wonder. But one of the greatest wonders of the universe is right here, inside our own skin, sloshing around with every step we take. So, let's recap this incredible journey through the unseen world of your own body. We've discovered the invisible mites that live on our faces. Our personal, harmless cleaning crew, ensuring we're never truly alone. We've seen how our skin is in a constant state of renewal, shedding and replacing itself every month, making us a new person, literally. We've learned that a large part of the dust in our homes is actually us. The remnants of our past selves floating in the air around us. And we've dived deep into our inner ocean, realizing that we are fundamentally beings of water, with our brains and lungs being wetter than we could ever imagine. Our bodies are a universe of untold wonders, of constant change, and of deep connection to the world around us and the ancient past. The things we take for granted, our skin, the air in our homes. A simple glass of water, all part of a much bigger, more intricate, and more awe-inspiring story. The more we learn, the clearer it becomes that the human body is the most amazing machine and the most profound mystery we will ever encounter. And the best part is, you carry this universe with you everywhere you go. It's you. So, take a moment today to appreciate the incredible, complex, and beautiful biological marvel that you are. From the microscopic creatures on your skin to the ocean you carry within, you are a walking, talking miracle. Thanks so much for joining me on this exploration today. If you found these facts as fascinating as I do, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into the amazing world of science. And drop a comment below which of these facts blew your mind the most. I'd love to hear from you. Until next time, stay curious. Did you know that you're not born with the skeleton you have right now? It's true. When we first arrive in this world, tiny and new, we have about 300 bones. But here's the catch: many of them are unreally bones in the way we think of them. They're more like soft, flexible cartilage. It's nature's way of making our grand entrance into the world a little bit easier. As we grow, a remarkable process of fusion begins. These soft pieces join together, hardening and forming the strong, sturdy skeleton of an adult, which consists of 206 bones. It's like a personal construction project happening inside you from day one. For centuries, humanity was largely in the dark about this intricate internal framework. It wasn't until 1543 that a brilliant mind named Andreas Vesalius, often called the father of modern anatomy, painstakingly counted and documented every single one of those 206 bones. He published his findings in a groundbreaking book, On the Fabric of the Human Body. For the first time, we had a detailed map of the incredible engineering that lies just beneath our skin. Vesalius didn't just count bones, he opened up a whole new world of understanding about what it means to be human. Let's talk about strength. We often think of materials like steel as the pinnacle of durability, right? Well, think again. Bone is a masterpiece of biomechanical perfection. You compare it weight for weight, bone is actually 5 times stronger than steel. That's not just a cool trivia fact. It's backed by serious research published in places like the Journal of Biomechanics. To put that into perspective, imagine a small cube of bone, roughly the size of a matchbox. Theoretically, that tiny piece could support the weight of 9 tons. That's more than the weight of an adult elephant. So, the next time you think about strength, remember that you're walking around with one of nature's greatest construction materials built right into you. So where is all this bony architecture concentrated? You might be surprised to learn that a full 1/3 of all the bones in your body are located in your feet and ankles. That's a huge number of bones packed into a relatively small area. This isn't some random design flaw. This dense, complex structure is precisely what allows us to do something truly remarkable: stand upright. It's the foundation that gives us our balance, that allows us to walk, to run, to jump, and even to dance. Before a single muscle fires to lift you, before you take that first step in the morning, the bones in your feet are already there, holding you steady. They are the unsung heroes of our mobility, our silent, solid base. From the foundation of our body, let's travel to one of its most delicate and intricate parts. Deep inside your inner ear, hidden from sight, is the smallest bone in your entire body. It's called the stapes, which is Latin for stirrup, because, well, it looks just like a tiny stirrup you'd see on a saddle. This bone is incredibly small, measuring just 2 to 3 millimeters long. It was first described way back in 1546 by an Italian anatomist named Giovanni Ingrassia. But don't let its size fool you. This tiny bone is a powerful lever. Its job is to take the vibrations that enter your ear and translate them into the signals your brain understands as sound. Every sound you've ever heard: the whisper of a loved one, the rhythm of your favorite song, the gentle patter of rain on a window, you owe it all to this minuscule, perfectly designed piece of bone. Of course, bones can't move on their own. They need a partner in motion, and that's where our muscles come in. We have over 600 muscles working together in a beautiful, coordinated symphony. Each one contributes its own unique effort to the grand performance of life. Some are obvious, like the big muscles in our arms and legs that allow us to lift, pull, and run. Others are more subtle, working constantly in the background. The muscles in your back and core, for example, keep your posture upright without you ever having to consciously think about it. And then there are the true marathon runners of the body muscles like your heart that never, ever get to take a break, not even when you're fast asleep. They are the engines of our motion, the power behind every single action we take. When you think of the strongest muscle, what comes to mind? Maybe your biceps or your quads. Well, if we're talking about strength relative to its size, the undisputed champion is a muscle in your face. The masseter, that's your primary jaw muscle. It's responsible for closing your jaw and allows you to bite down with remarkable force. Every time you chew your food, whether it's a soft piece of bread or a crunchy apple, your masseter is performing controlled, powerful work. It's one of those amazing bodily functions that we perform thousands of times a day, harnessing incredible strength without ever giving it a second thought. It's a powerhouse hiding in plain sight. Now, let's talk about the muscles that show our emotions. You've probably heard the old saying, it takes 43 muscles to frown, but only 17 to smile. It's a lovely thought, isn't it? The idea that being happy is physically easier than being sad. And while the sentiment is beautiful, the reality is a little more complicated. The science of facial expressions has come a long way, especially thanks to the work of psychologist Paul Ekman. In the 1970s, he developed something called the facial action coding system, which is a method for cataloging every possible human facial expression. What this research shows is that our expressions are incredibly nuanced. A genuine, heartfelt smile, the kind that reaches your eyes, can actually activate even more muscles than a simple frown. But even though the numbers might not be exact, the symbolic idea remains powerful. Smiling often feels easier, and there's no doubt that it makes us and the people around us feel a whole lot better. Finally, let's journey into the hidden rivers that flow within us. I'm talking about our blood vessels. We have a vast, intricate network of arteries, veins, and tiny capillaries that carry life-sustaining blood to every single cell in our body. If you could take all of these vessels, from the largest artery to the most microscopic capillary, and stretch them out in a single, continuous line, how long do you think it would be? The answer is staggering. The total length would be around 100,000 kilometers, or about 60,000 miles. To give you some context, that's long enough to wrap around the entire circumference of the Earth. Not just once, but more than twice. We are literally filled with flowing rivers. It's a private transportation network that keeps us alive and running every second of every day. Isn't the human body just absolutely incredible? Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through some of the most amazing facts about our own bodies. If you found this as fascinating as I did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders of science. See you next time. Hello and welcome back to our journey inside the most incredible machine ever built, the human body. Today, we re-exploring two of its most vital components, the tireless pump in your chest and the command center in your head. Let's start with the heart. Imagine a pump that works non-stop, day and night, without ever asking for a vacation. That's your heart. It beats around 100,000 times every single day. If you live to be 70 years old, your heart will have beaten an astonishing 2.5 billion times. It never requests a break. For centuries, this simple fact was a complete mystery. The great Roman physician Galen taught that blood was made in the liver and then consumed by the body like fuel. This idea held sway for over 1,000 years. It wasn't until 1628 that an English physician named William Harvey turned medicine upside down. In his groundbreaking book, On the Motion of the Heart, Harvey proved that the heart pumps the same blood around the body in a closed loop. He showed that blood wasn't consumed, but circulated. This discovery was a complete revolution in understanding life itself, proving the heart wasn't just a passive organ, but an active, powerful engine. And speaking of power, the force your heart generates is truly extraordinary. When your heart contracts and pushes blood into the aorta, the main artery leaving the heart, it does so with incredible pressure. How much pressure? Well, Scientists have calculated that if you could unhook the aorta and point it upwards, the jet of blood could theoretically shoot 9 meters into the air. That's about 30 feet, or the height of a 3-story building. Of course, we never ever want to test this theory in real life, but the calculation alone reveals the quiet, immense strength humming away inside our chests every second of every day. This power is what ensures that every part of your body, from your brain to the tips of your toes, receives the oxygen and nutrients it needs to survive. It's a testament to the beautiful engineering of the human body. Now, let's travel from the chest up to the command center, the brain. When you think about the brain, you might imagine something large and heavy. But in reality, the brain weighs only about 1.4 kilograms, or around 3 pounds. That's just 2% of an average person's total body mass. It's small, but as we all know, it is incredibly mighty. This small organ is the epicenter of your thoughts, your emotions, your memories, and your very identity. It's the most complex structure we know of in the universe, all packed into a space that can comfortably rest in your 2 hands. The brain's relatively small size makes its incredible capabilities even more inspiring. It's proof that in biology, size isn't everything. It's the complexity and efficiency of the design that truly matter. Despite its small size, the brain is an absolute energy hog. Think of it as the power plant of your body. It consumes a staggering 20% of all the oxygen you breathe and all the calories you eat. This tiny 3-pound organ demands a fifth of your body's total energy budget. Why so much? Because it's always on. Even when you're sleeping, your brain is busy consolidating memories, clearing out waste, and managing your body's functions. Thanks to modern imaging techniques like PET scans, which were developed in the 1970s, we can actually watch the brain in action. We can see it glow with metabolic energy as we think, speak, remember, and solve problems. Even right now, as you listen to my voice and process this information, specific areas of your brain are lighting up, burning through energy. It's a constant, vibrant hub of activity. So, what is this incredible organ actually made of? You might be surprised to learn that the brain is the fattiest organ in your body. About 60% of the brain's dry weight is fat, specifically lipids. Now, in our diet-conscious world, fat can sound like a bad word. But for your brain, it's the most essential building material. These fats, including omega-3 south, are crucial for building cell membranes and myelin sheaths, which insulate your nerve cells and allow them to communicate quickly and efficiently. So, far from being unhealthy, the fat in your brain is the very substance of your intelligence. It's the hardware that runs the software of your consciousness. A healthy brain requires a steady supply of these good fats to maintain its structure and function. It's a beautiful paradox. The fattiest organ is also the smartest. Now let's talk about the brain's electrical power. At this very moment, as you sit there listening, your brain is generating enough electrical power to light a small 10-watt light bulb. Your thoughts, your imagination, your memories, every single one of them is a spark of bioelectric activity. Millions of tiny electrical signals are zipping between your brain cells, creating the seamless experience of your conscious reality. This electrical energy is what allows you to see, hear, feel, and think. It's the silent, invisible storm of activity that makes you, you. So the next time you have a brilliant idea, you can literally say a light bulb just went on in your head, and you wouldn't be too far from the truth. How fast does all this brain activity happen? The speed of thought is truly mind-boggling. Nerve impulses, the messages that travel between your brain and the rest of your body, move at speeds of over 270 kilometers per hour. That's faster than a Formula One race car. For a long time, people assumed that thought was instantaneous, some kind of magic that happened outside the laws of physics. But around 1850, a German physiologist named Hermann von Helmholtz decided to measure it. Using a simple but ingenious experiment on a frog's leg, he was the first to calculate the speed of nerve transmission. He proved that thought and sensation are not magical, but measurable physical processes. It was a monumental step forward, showing that the workings of the mind could be understood through science. So who first figured out what the brain's internal architecture looked like? For a long time, scientists looking at brain tissue under a microscope just saw a tangled, confusing mess. They imagined it as one continuous network, like a web. But then came a Spanish researcher named Santiago Ramon y Cayol. In the Yitem Babai Joshires, Cayol painstakingly and beautifully drew what he saw through his microscope. He used a special staining technique that only colored a few cells at a time, allowing him to see them clearly. Through his patient, artistic work, he revealed the brain's true structure. He showed that the brain isn't a single tangled mass, but is built from individual, distinct cells we now call neurons. Each neuron is a separate unit that communicates with others across tiny gaps. His discovery, known as the neuron doctrine, earned him the Nobel Prize in 1906 and the title Father of Modern Neuroscience. He single-handedly transformed confusion into clarity, giving us the fundamental map of the brain that we still use today. From the relentless pump in our chest to the electric web of thoughts in our head, the human body is a universe of wonders. The more we learn, the more we realize how much more there is to discover. Thank you so much for joining me on this exploration today. If you enjoyed learning about the marvels of your own body, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you do not miss our next journey into the incredible world of science. See you next time. Did you know that your own brain can't feel pain? It sounds impossible, right? But it's true. The brain, the very organ that processes every sensation in your body, has absolutely no pain receptors of its own. This incredible fact was famously demonstrated back in the 1940s and 50s by a Canadian neurosurgeon named Wilder Penfield. He would perform brain surgery on patients who were awake, using only a mild anesthetic on their scalp. He could then gently touch different parts of their brain with an electrode. What did the patients report? They described vivid memories, distinct smells, flashes of light, and other strange sensations, but never, ever pain. It was through these direct conversations with the conscious brain that Penfield was able to create the very first functional maps of this mysterious organ, charting out which areas controlled movement, speech, and memory. But the brain isn't just a static map. It's constantly changing, adapting, and rewiring itself every single moment of your life. This remarkable ability is called neuroplasticity. The term was first coined in 1948 by a Polish scientist, Jerzy Konarski, who noticed that the brain's connections could be strengthened or weakened over time. For decades, it was believed that this was mostly a feature of young, developing brains. The common wisdom was that once you reached adulthood, your brain was more or less finished. But then came a groundbreaking discovery in 1998. A researcher named Peter Eriksson proved that even adult brains can grow brand new neurons, a process called neurogenesis. He found this happening in a key area for learning and memory, the hippocampus. This completely changed our understanding. Your brain is not a finished product. It learns, it heals, it rebuilds, and it continuously reshapes the very person you are. Now, let us journey from the inner world of the brain to one of its most important partners, the eye. Think of your eye as a living, breathing, organic camera. It's a perfect analogy. Just like a camera, it has a lens in this case, called the crystalline lens, which bends and focuses incoming light. And just like a roll of film or a digital sensor, your eye has a light-sensitive surface at the back called the retina. This curved biological screen is covered in millions of tiny, specialized cells, all patiently waiting for particles of light or photons to arrive. When they do, these cells instantly translate the light into electrical signals that the brain can understand. So, in a very real and elegant sense, every single time you look at the world, your body is performing a live, real-time photo shoot of reality. But here's where it gets really weird. Because of the basic laws of optics, the light passing through the convex shape of your lens gets flipped. This means the image that is actually projected onto your retina is completely upside down and reversed from left to right. That's right. Everything you see is initially registered by your eyes as an inverted picture of the world. Imagine seeing a tree with its roots in the sky and branches in the ground that is the raw data your retina receives. The person who first described this scientifically was the brilliant Renaissance astronomer Johannes Kepler, way back in the early 1600s. But Kepler realized something even more profound. The eye itself doesn't see. The brain does. It's your incredible brain that, without any conscious effort from you, instantly and flawlessly flips the image right side up, seamlessly reconstructing your world so that it makes sense. It's one of the most amazing post-production jobs happening inside your head, 24/7. So if the eye is a camera, how powerful is it? If we were to try and compare it to a modern digital camera, its potential resolution has been estimated to be somewhere around a staggering 576 megapixels. That number sounds almost unbelievable when you think about the cameras in our phones, which might be 12, 48, or even 108 megapixels. Of course, this is just a simplified comparison, but it serves to illustrate just how incredibly precise and detailed the retina is. It is densely packed with millions and millions of light-sensing cells, all working together every single second you're awake, to build a sharp, vibrant, and high-definition universe for you to experience. It's the ultimate biological technology. But the eye isn't just one type of camera. It's more like two cameras in one, each designed for a different purpose. On your retina, you have two main types of photoreceptor cells, cones and rods. The cones are responsible for your vision in bright daylight, and crucially, they are what allow you to see color. You have about 6 million cones, and they're mostly clustered in the center of your vision, giving you that sharp, detailed central view. The rods, on the other hand, are the specialists for low light and nighttime vision. You have far more of them, over 120 million, and they are incredibly sensitive to even the faintest glimmer of light. They can't detect color, which is why the world looks gray and washed out in the dark. But together, these two communities of cells work in perfect harmony, giving you one world for the bright sunshine and another for the soft moonlight. So, thanks to those cones, just how many colors can we actually see? It turns out, most humans can distinguish up to 10 million unique shades of color. This is possible because we have 3 different types of cone cells, each one tuned to a different wavelength of light. One for red, one for green, and one for blue. Every color you've ever perceived: the deep purple of a sunset, the bright yellow of a lemon, the endless blues of the ocean is just a combination of signals from these 3 types of cells mixed together by your brain. What's truly mind-blowing is that this fundamental concept, known as the trichromatic theory of color vision, was first proposed all the way back in 1802 by the English genius Thomas Young. Think about that. Over 200 years ago, long before we had the technology to study cells. He understood that your experience of a beautiful rainbow wasn't just magic, but a measurable and finely tuned biological masterpiece. From a brain that feels no pain to an eye that sees the world upside down, our bodies are truly full of wonders. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed learning about these amazing facts, do you forget to like this video and subscribe for more explorations into the human body and the world around us. See you next time. Did you know your eyes have a blind spot? It's true. Each eye has a tiny area where the optic nerve connects, completely lacking photoreceptors. It's a literal hole in your vision. This was discovered way back in the 1660s by a physicist named Edmé Mariotte. He even demonstrated it to King Louis XIV's court. So why don't you see a black dot everywhere you look? Because your brilliant brain fills in the gap. It takes information from your other eye and seamlessly patches up reality, like a master artist finishing a painting. You never even notice it's happening. From sight, let's move to sound. Tucked away in your middle ear is the stapedius muscle. It's the smallest muscle in your entire body, but don't let its size fool you. It's also one of the fastest. Its job is to protect your delicate inner ear from loud noises. When a sudden loud sound hits, the stapes contracts in a flash, acting like an automatic, built-in shield. It's a tiny, lightning-fast guardian protecting your hearing 24/7. But your ears do more than just hear. Deep inside, you have a vestibular system, an amazing structure with 3 fluid-filled canals. Whenever you tilt your head, turn, or even just nod, the fluid moves. This movement sends signals to your brain, telling it exactly how your body is oriented in space. This is what keeps you balanced. The scientist who figured this out, Robert Baroni, even won a Nobel Prize for it back in 1914. So while your eyes are busy seeing the world, your ears are the unsung heroes keeping you from falling over. Here's another cool trick your hearing system pulls off. Imagine a sound happens to your left. The sound waves will reach your left ear just a fraction of a second before they reach your right. How small a fraction? Sometimes as little as 10 microseconds. Your brain detects this minuscule delay and instantly calculates the sound's precise location. This is how you can tell if a car is coming from behind you or if someone is whispering just over your shoulder. It's an incredible feat of subconscious mathematics that happens constantly without you ever having to think about it. Now, let's explore our oldest sense, smell. Evolutionarily speaking, our sense of smell is more ancient than both sight and hearing. What makes it unique is its direct line to the brain's emotional center. While other sensory information gets routed through a processing station called the thalamus, smells take a shortcut. They go straight to the limbic system, the part of the brain responsible for emotion and memory. This is why a certain scent can trigger such a powerful immediate emotional response or a vivid memory. This deep connection between smell and memory has a name, the Proust effect. It's named after the writer Marcel Proust, who famously described how the smell of a pastry dipped in tea instantly transported him back to his childhood. It's a beautiful literary observation that neuroscience now supports. Smells aren't just data for your brain. They're bottled up memories and feelings waiting to be uncorked. For a long time, we seriously underestimated our noses. Scientists used to think humans could distinguish about 10,000 different smells. That sounds like a lot, but it turns out the real number is astronomically higher. A study in 2014 completely changed our understanding. Researchers discovered that the human nose can likely detect at least 1 trillion different odors. 1 trillion. Far from being a weak, fading sense, our ability to smell is a vast, rich, and incredibly powerful tool for experiencing the world. Our noses are like a library of 1 trillion stories, each one told through scent. Thank you so much for watching. If you found these facts as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing insights into the human body. See you in the next one. Ever wonder why food tastes so bland when you have a cold? Because what we call flavor is actually about 80% smell. When your nose is blocked, you're not just missing out on scents, you're losing most of your sense of taste. Your tongue can only detect the basics: sweet, salty, sour, and bitter. But the rich, complex world of flavor, that's a team effort between your tongue and your nose. Speaking of the tongue, you probably remember that old tongue map from school, right? The one that showed sweetness at the tip, sourness on the sides, and bitterness at the back. Well, I'm here to tell you that it's completely wrong. That famous image is actually a myth, born from a mistranslation of a German research paper way back in 1901. The truth is, all your taste receptors for every taste are spread all over your tongue. They're all working together as equals to let you enjoy your food. There's no special zone for sweetness or saltiness. But the story of taste doesn't end with just 4 categories. There's a 5th taste, and it's called umami. Discovered in 1908 by a Japanese chemist named Kikune Ikeda. Umami is that savory, meaty, brothy flavor you find in foods like ripe tomatoes, Parmesan cheese, mushrooms, and soy sauce. Ikeda isolated it from kombu seaweed and realized it was the taste of protein itself. Today, umami is recognized as a fundamental part of our culinary experience, completing the flavor palette. Here's a fun fact you might not know. Your taste buds have a surprisingly short lifespan. They completely renew themselves every 10 to 14 days. That means the tongue you're reusing to taste your dinner tonight is biologically different from the one you had just 2 weeks ago. Your sense of flavor is in a constant state of renewal, always fresh and ready for the next meal. Now, let's move from taste to touch and talk about the body's largest organ. Any guesses? It's not your liver or your brain, it's your skin. Your skin makes up about 16% of your total body weight. It's an incredible organ that acts as both a protective shield against the outside world and a sophisticated sensor that lets you feel and interact with it. It's your body's living, breathing garment. But not all skin is created equal when it comes to sensitivity. Your fingertips and lips are packed with an incredibly high density of touch receptors. These specialized nerve endings, known as Meissner's corpuscles, allow us to detect even the slightest changes in texture and pressure. This amazing sensitivity is what makes it possible for someone to read Braille, a tactile writing system invented by Louis Braille in the 1820s. Your fingertips aren't just for touching, they're precision instruments of perception. Finally, let us dive into one of the most fascinating and mysterious aspects of the human brain: phantom limbs. Deep inside your brain, there's a complete internal map of your body. When a person loses an arm or a leg, the physical limb is gone, but that neural map in the brain often remains intact. Because of this, the brain can continue to send signals to the missing limb, causing very real sensations of pain, itching, or even movement. This phenomenon was first described by a surgeon in the 16th century. But it wasn't until the 1990s that neuroscientist V.S. Ramachandran began to truly understand it. He developed something called mirror therapy, which uses a mirror to trick the brain into seeing the missing limb and can help relieve the phantom pain. It's a powerful reminder of how the brain holds onto its own blueprint of the body, even when the body itself has changed. I hope you found these facts as amazing as I do. The human body is a universe of wonders, and we've only just scratched the surface. If you enjoyed this journey into our senses, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more incredible facts. Thanks for watching. Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel, where we explore the incredible machine that is the human body. Today, we read diving into some truly mind-blowing facts that will make you see yourself in a whole new light. Let's get started. Ever gotten goosebumps when you're cold or scared? Of course, you have. But have you ever wondered why? This reaction is a fascinating relic from our evolutionary past. In our ancient, furry ancestors, tiny muscles at the base of each hair would contract, puffing up their fur. This served two purposes. It created a layer of insulation to trap heat and keep them warm. And it made them look bigger and more intimidating to potential predators. For us modern humans, without a thick coat of fur, it's more of a symbolic gesture. It's a quiet, physical whisper from our distant past, a reminder of where we came from. Even the great Charles Darwin noted this phenomenon back in 1872, recognizing it as one of the many ways our bodies tell stories of our evolutionary journey. So next time you feel that prickle on your skin, take a moment to appreciate that ancient, primal connection. Now, let's take a journey inward. Take a slow, deep breath with me. As you do, imagine traveling down into your lungs. What you'd see is a structure that looks remarkably like an upside-down tree. It starts with the main trunk, the trachea, which then splits into major branches called bronchi. These branches divide again and again, getting progressively smaller, turning into thousands of tiny bronchioles. It's a beautiful, intricate, fractal pattern. At the very ends of these tiny branches, you'll find the leaves of this tree, millions of microscopic air sacs called alveoli. These fragile balloon-like structures are where the real magic happens. It's inside these delicate bubbles that the miracle of respiration unfolds. Oxygen from the air you just breathed in passes into your bloodstream, and carbon dioxide, the waste product from your cells, passes out. This is the precise point where air becomes life. It's a breathtakingly elegant design, all happening silently within your chest. So, how many of these tiny alveoli do we actually have? The number is astronomical. An average pair of adult lungs contains around 300 million of them. And here's where it gets truly wild. If you could take all of those millions of tiny sacs and carefully flatten them out, their combined surface area would be enormous. How enormous? It would cover the size of a standard tennis court. That's about 70 square meters of life-sustaining tissue, all ingeniously folded and packed into the space of your chest. This incredible fact was only discovered in the 20th century, with the invention of powerful electron microscopes that allowed us to see this hidden landscape in detail. Our very existence depends on this immense folded-up surface, an origami of survival that allows for the efficient exchange of gases that keeps us alive every second of every day. Let's talk about breathing itself. It's a bodily function that's completely unique. Most of our vital functions, like our heartbeat or digestion, run on complete autopilot. You don't have to remember to make your heart beat. This automatic control comes from the brainstem, the most primitive, ancient part of our brain. It ensures we keep breathing even when we're asleep or not thinking about it. But here's the special part. Unlike your heartbeat, you can consciously take control of your breathing whenever you want. You can decide to take a deep, calming breath. You can hold your breath. You can breathe quickly or slowly. This makes breathing a rare and powerful bridge between our unconscious and conscious minds. It's a doorway that we can open at will, allowing us to influence our physiological and psychological state. This is why practices like meditation and yoga place so much emphasis on breath control. It's a direct tool to calm the nervous system and anchor ourselves in the present moment. Next, we venture down into the stomach, a place of extreme chemistry. Your stomach produces hydrochloric acid, an incredibly potent substance. Just how potent? It's strong enough to dissolve metal. If you were to drop a razor blade into a vat of stomach acid, it would eventually dissolve. This leads to an obvious question. If our stomach acid is that powerful, why doesn't it dissolve the stomach itself? The answer lies in a brilliant defense mechanism. The stomach lining is coated with a thick, robust layer of mucus. This protective barrier is constantly being broken down by the acid. But it's also constantly being renewed, shielding the delicate tissue underneath. We owe much of our early understanding of this to a remarkable accident of history. In the 1820s, an American Army surgeon named William Beaumont treated a man with a gunshot wound that left a permanent hole, or fistula, in his stomach. This unfortunate injury provided a literal window into the digestive process. Beaumont was able to observe digestion happening in real time, revolutionizing our understanding of this inner chemical world. Finally, let's travel to the last stop on our tour today, the small intestine. Now, the name is a bit of a misnomer. It's called small because of its diameter, which is narrower than the large intestine. But in terms of length, it's anything but small. If you were to stretch out the small intestine of an average adult, it would measure a staggering 6 to 7 meters long. That's around 22-23 feet, roughly the height of a 2-story building. So, how does the body fit this enormously long tube inside the abdomen? It's tightly and neatly coiled, packed in like a garden hose. This incredible length is absolutely crucial for our survival. It provides a vast surface area and the necessary time for our bodies to do the vital work of absorbing nutrients from the food we eat. As food slowly makes its way through this long, winding tunnel, essential vitamins, minerals, and other molecules are pulled into the bloodstream. Without this extensive pathway, the life-giving energy in our food would simply pass right through us, unclaimed. It's another example of the body's genius for design, maximizing efficiency to sustain life. And that's a wrap on these incredible facts about the human body. It's amazing to think about all the complex and beautiful processes happening inside us without us even noticing. If you found this as fascinating as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the wonders of science and nature. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Did you know your brain is a kingdom of 86 billion neurons? For years, textbooks claimed it was 100 billion, but that was just a guess. It wasn't until 2009 that neuroscientist Susanna Herculano-Hausel came up with a wild idea. She literally turned brains into a kind of soup to count the cell nuclei accurately. Her work completely rewrote our understanding, revealing the true scale of the incredibly complex network inside our heads. And how fast does this network operate? Well, your thoughts aren't instant, but they're not slow either. The fastest signals in your brain, the ones for quick movements, can travel up to 268 miles per hour. That's faster than a Formula One car. These messages zip along special insulated nerve fibers, allowing your body to react in the blink of an eye. So, the next time you catch a falling glass, you can thank your brain's incredible racing car speeds. What about when you're sleeping? Does your brain finally take a break? Absolutely not. It's like a city that never sleeps. Thanks to the invention of the EEG, we discovered that even in deep sleep, your brain is hard at work. During REM sleep, when you're dreaming, your brain activity is so high it looks almost identical to when you're wide awake. It's busy organizing memories, processing emotions, and rehearsing skills, all while your body gets its rest. All this activity takes a lot of energy, right? You bet. Your brain, on average, uses about 20 watts of power. That's enough to light a dim light bulb. This incredible efficiency powers every single thought, feeling, and action you have. It's a reminder that with just a tiny amount of energy, your brain accomplishes feats that even the most powerful supercomputers can't replicate, like creativity and consciousness. So, from having 86 billion neurons to thinking at supercar speeds and running 24/7s on the power of a light bulb, your brain is a true marvel of nature. It's the most complex and fascinating object in the known universe, and it's right inside your head. If you found these facts as mind-blowing as I did, hit that like button and subscribe for more amazing insights into the world around us. Thanks for watching. Did you know your brain is not a fixed, unchangeable machine? It's more like a living sculpture, constantly reshaping itself. This incredible ability is called neuroplasticity. The idea started gaining ground in the 1940s, but it was the groundbreaking work of researcher Michael Merzenich in the 70s and 80s that really brought it to life. He showed that when monkeys learn new skills, their brains literally rewired themselves. The same thing happens to you. Every time you learn a new language, practice a new hobby, or even recover from an injury, you are physically changing the structure of your brain. It's not just about getting smarter. It's about your mind actively sculpting itself based on your life experiences. Think about that for a moment. The person you are today is a direct result of the pathways you've built in your mind, and the person you'll be tomorrow is still under construction. Every single day offers a new chance to lay down new tracks, build new connections, and become a slightly different, slightly more complex version of yourself. Now, let's talk about the unsung hero of your body, the one that never clocks out, your heart. This thing is an absolute powerhouse. It beats tirelessly, day and night, without ever asking for a break. By the time you reach old age, your heart will have pumped millions of liters of blood and beaten billions of times. That's not an exaggeration. It's a calculation based on average heart rates and lifespans, often highlighted by organizations like National Geographic. Imagine a machine that could run for 80 or 90 years without stopping for maintenance. It's almost unbelievable. Your heart is a marvel of biological engineering, performing a lifetime of labor with relentless persistence. It's one of the most reliable and hardworking machines on the entire planet, and it's right inside your chest, keeping you going every single second. But here's where it gets even more fascinating. Your heart doesn't even need your brain to tell it what to do. It has its own built-in electrical pacemaker, a tiny cluster of cells called the sinoatrial node. This little node is the heart's personal conductor, setting the rhythm all by itself. This discovery traces back to the 19th century, but it was in 1907 that anatomist Arthur Keith and pathologist Martin Flack pinpointed the sinoatrial node itself. Because of this autonomous system, your heart would continue beating even if it were completely disconnected from your nervous system. It's like a drummer who doesn't need to watch the band leader. It just knows the beat and keeps it steady. This incredible independence ensures that the life-giving rhythm of your body is maintained consistently, a steady pulse that defines your very existence. Now let's zoom in, way in to the atomic level. Everything around you, the chair you're sitting on, the screen you're watching, and even your own body seems solid, right? Well, it's mostly empty space. Modern atomic theory, built on the work of scientists like Ernest Rutherford and Niels Bohr, reveals that an atom is composed of a tiny dense nucleus surrounded by vast regions of space where electrons exist as probability clouds. This means that the matter making up your bones, your skin, and your brain is overwhelmingly hollow. You are, quite literally, made of stardust and empty space. The universe isn't just out there among the stars and galaxies. A vast inner universe of space is hidden within you at the very core of your being. It's a humbling thought, isn't it? That you are simultaneously a solid presence in the world and a collection of near-nothingness. And this collection of atoms that makes you you is in a constant state of flux. Your body is perpetually rebuilding itself. You are not the same physical person you were 7 or 10 years ago. Many of your cells have a limited lifespan. They die and are replaced by new ones in a process called cellular turnover. This was discovered through radioactive tracing techniques pioneered in the 1940s by Rudolf Schonheimer, who labeled atoms to track their journey through the body. Today, scientists at institutions like MIT continue to refine these measurements. Your skin cells renew every few weeks. Your red blood cells turn over every few months. But some cells, like your brain's neurons, are with you for most of your life. So, your body is like a continuously reconstructed masterpiece. A dynamic river of life where some parts flow quickly and others move slowly, but nothing ever stays exactly the same. Finally, let's talk about strength. Your bones might seem delicate, but they are incredibly tough. Take your femur or thigh bone, for example. On a weight-for-weight basis, it can withstand more pressure than cast iron. This isn't just a fun fact. It's been proven through biomechanical stress tests in medical and engineering labs. But what makes bone truly extraordinary is that, unlike metal, it's a living, dynamic material. It constantly repairs itself and adapts to the demands you place on it. When you engage in activities like weightlifting, running, or even just walking, you are sending a signal to your bones to become stronger and denser. Your skeleton isn't just a passive frame holding you up. It's an active, responsive system that evolves with you. It's a testament to how your body is not just a collection of parts, but a smart, interconnected system that is far stronger and more resilient than you might think. So, from the ever-changing landscape of your brain to the unstoppable rhythm of your heart, from the vast emptiness within your atoms to the incredible strength of your bones, the human body is a universe of wonders. You are a walking, talking miracle of biology, constantly adapting, rebuilding, and persevering. Never forget the incredible power and potential that resides within you. Thanks for watching. If you found these facts as amazing as I do, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next journey into the wonders of science. See you next time. Did you know your body has a built-in factory that never shuts down? It's your bone marrow, and it's a non-stop blood production powerhouse. Every single second, your body manufactures millions of new blood cells. That's right, millions per second. This incredible process is called hematopoiesis. Think about it. You have somewhere between 25 and 30 trillion red blood cells, and each one lives for about 120 days. To keep up, your body has to replace them constantly. This means your bone marrow is one of the busiest, most active parts of your body. It's a cellular factory that never closes, never rests, and never takes a holiday. It just keeps working 24/7 to make sure you have a fresh supply of blood to keep you alive and healthy. It's truly an amazing feat of biological engineering happening inside you right now. Now, let's talk about the highway system for all that blood. Your circulatory system is an enormous network of arteries, veins, and tiny capillaries. If you could take all of these blood vessels out of your body and lay them end to end, how far do you think they would stretch? A few miles? Maybe a few hundred? The answer is absolutely mind-blowing. The total length is about 100,000 kilometers, or roughly 62,000 miles. To put that into perspective, that's long enough to wrap around the entire Earth 2.5 times. Modern imaging technology and mathematical models have confirmed this incredible fact. It's not just an estimate. It's a well-documented reality cited in respected scientific journals. So, inside you is a colossal network, a vast, intricate system that ensures every single cell in your body gets the oxygen and nutrients it needs to survive. Your circulatory system isn't just impressive. It's a planetary-scale wonder contained within you. Next up, let's appreciate one of the most underrated yet tireless workers in your body, your kidneys. These bean-shaped organs are your personal, highly advanced filtration system. Every single day, your kidneys filter about 1,500 liters of blood. That's a staggering amount. From all that filtering, they produce between 1 and 2 liters of urine, which carries away waste products and toxins. This isn't a new discovery either. This has been standard knowledge in physiology for decades. Thanks to pioneering research from the 1930s, imagine having a filter that never clogs and never needs cleaning. That's what your kidneys do. They silently and efficiently remove toxins, regulate your body's salt and water balance, maintain the correct pH level, and even help control your blood pressure. They are the quiet heroes working around the clock to keep your internal environment perfectly balanced and clean. Have you ever wondered how resilient the human body is? A big part of that resilience comes from a surprising feature: built-in redundancy. Many of your organs have a backup reserve, an extra capacity that allows them to function even when things go wrong. For example, you have 2 kidneys, but you can live a perfectly healthy life with just one. This is the very reason why living kidney donation is possible and so successful. Another great example is your liver. It has an incredible ability to regenerate and can continue to function even if a large portion of it is damaged or removed. Decades of clinical work in surgery and transplantation have confirmed this amazing biological safety net. Medical organizations often highlight this reserve system as the foundation of modern donor surgery. It's like our bodies were engineered not just to survive day to day, but to endure hardship, adapt to damage, and keep on going. Finally, let's talk about the body's ultimate chemical factory, the liver. This organ is an absolute workhorse, performing over 500 essential functions. It's hard to even comprehend that number. Your liver is your primary detoxification center, breaking down harmful substances you might ingest. It produces crucial blood proteins, like albumin, that are vital for your circulation. It acts as a storage unit for vitamins and minerals, releasing them when your body needs them. It manages the metabolism of fats, carbohydrates, and proteins, and even processes medications. One of its most critical jobs is converting toxic ammonia, a byproduct of protein metabolism, into a much safer substance called urea, which your kidneys can then excrete. If you think of your body as a bustling city, your liver is the massive industrial complex that keeps everything running smoothly. It processes materials, manufactures goods, and handles waste management. All at the same time, non-stop, ensuring that the city of you can thrive. It's a true chemical genius, working tirelessly for your health. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to follow for more amazing facts about the human body. Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into some of the most mind-blowing secrets our bodies hold. You might think you know yourself, but trust me, what's happening inside you right now is more incredible than you can imagine. Let's get started with a fact that sounds like it's straight out of mythology. You've probably heard the Greek myth of Prometheus, whose liver was eaten by an eagle every day, only to regrow overnight. Well, that myth has a surprising amount of truth to it. Unlike most of our other organs, the liver has a truly extraordinary ability to regenerate. Modern science has confirmed this amazing power. Surgeons can actually remove a significant portion of a diseased or damaged liver, and within weeks, it can grow back to its original size. It's a real-life medical miracle that regenerative medicine labs are studying intensely, trying to unlock its secrets. How do these liver cells know when to stop and start growing? It's a biological puzzle we're still solving, but this regenerative power is already saving lives every single day. Next up, let's talk about your body's personal security force, the immune system. It's not just a defense mechanism. It's a brilliant strategist with an incredible memory. Ever wonder why you usually only get chickenpox once? That's immune memory at work. When your body fights off an invader, like a virus or bacteria, it doesn't just forget about it. It creates special memory cells that remember the enemy. This whole concept is the foundation of vaccination, a field pioneered by Edward Jenner back in 1796. He realized that exposure to a weakened version of a pathogen could train the body to fight off the real thing. Later, scientists like Louis Pasteur and Emil von Behring helped us understand how this works at a molecular level. In fact, Behring won the very first Nobel Prize in Medicine in 1901 for his work on antitoxins. So, the next time that same bug tries to invade, your immune system is ready. It's like I've seen you before, and it launches a faster, stronger counterattack to shut it down before you even feel sick. It's your body's own intelligence agency. Speaking of feeling sick, have you ever wondered why getting a cold or the flu makes you feel so miserable? You might blame the virus, but here's a twist. Many of those symptoms, the fever, the runny nose, the fatigue, are actually weapons your own immune system is using against the invader. Think of it as the collateral damage of an inner war. This idea was shaped by brilliant minds like Ilya Mechnikov, known as the father of cellular immunity, and even Charles Darwin, who saw fever as an adaptive advantage. A fever, for example, raises your body temperature, creating a hostile environment where it's much harder for many pathogens to survive and multiply. That mucus you're so desperate to get rid of. It's trapping invaders and helping to flush them out of your system. So, while it feels awful, your body is making you uncomfortable on purpose, all in an effort to save you more efficiently. It's a tough love approach to healing. Now, let's zoom in a bit from your whole body to the microscopic world living inside you. Are you ready for this? You are not just you. You're an entire ecosystem. You are home to trillions of microorganisms, bacteria, fungi, viruses that collectively form your microbiome. A 2016 study from the Weizmann Institute estimated that we have around 39 trillion microbial cells in and on our bodies, which is slightly more than our own human cells. For a long time, we thought of bacteria as just bad germs, but massive research projects like the US Human Microbiome Project have completely changed that view. It turns out most of these microbes, especially the ones in your gut, are not invaders. They're partners. They help you digest food your body can't break down on its own. They produce essential vitamins. They help train your immune system, and they even influence your mood and mental health. You're not a single organism. You're a superorganism, a thriving community working together. You are literally a walking, talking planet. Finally, let's go even deeper to the very blueprint of life itself, DNA. inside almost every single one of your trillions of cells. There's a nucleus, and inside that nucleus is your DNA. It's the ultimate instruction manual, containing all the information needed to build and run your entire body. The sheer amount of information packed into such a tiny space is staggering. If you were to take the DNA from just one of your cells and stretch it out, it would be about 2 meters or 6 feet long. Now, think about this. You have roughly 37 trillion cells. If you could take all the DNA from all of those cells and line it up end to end, the total length would be almost unimaginable. We're talking about a distance that could stretch to the sun and back hundreds of times. Institutions like the Natural History Museum in London use these astronomical comparisons to help us grasp the scale. Your genome isn't just a chemical code. It's a vast, ancient library of life written in a language billions of letters long, carried within you every moment of every day. So there you have it, from a self-repairing liver and a strategic immune system to an inner world of microbial allies and a genetic library of cosmic proportions. The human body is a universe of wonders. What we've covered today is just the tip of the iceberg. The more we learn, the more we realize how complex and beautifully designed we truly are. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey inside ourselves. If you enjoyed this and want to learn more, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. See you in the next video. Have you ever wondered what makes you, you? Beyond your thoughts and dreams, your body is a universe of untold stories, ancient secrets, and mind-boggling complexity. Today, we're peeling back the layers to reveal 5 incredible truths about the human machine. From the microscopic powerhouses inside your cells to the silent language of your face. Get ready to see yourself in a whole new light. Let's start with the source of your energy. Deep within almost every cell in your body are tiny structures called mitochondria. You've probably heard them called the powerhouses of the cell, and for good reason. They generate the energy you need for everything moving, thinking, even just existing. But here's the mind-blowing part. Mitochondria aren't originally human. According to the endosymbiotic theory, proposed by the brilliant biologist Lynn Margulis in 1967, these powerhouses were once free-living bacteria. Billions of years ago, they entered into a partnership with our single-celled ancestors, and they've been with us ever since. When her theory first came out, it was highly controversial. But then, scientists made a groundbreaking discovery. Mitochondria have their own DNA, completely separate from the DNA in your cell's nucleus. This was the proof she needed. So, the next time you feel tired, remember that your energy comes from an ancient alliance. A beautiful act of cooperation between different species. Your very cells are a testament that life isn't just about competition. It's built on symbiosis. Now, let's talk about communication. Your body doesn't just use nerves to send messages. It has a second, more subtle network, the hormonal system. Hormones are chemical messengers that travel through your bloodstream, coordinating a vast and complex symphony of bodily functions. The story of hormones began in 1902 with 2 British physiologists, William Bayliss and Ernest Starling. They were studying digestion when they discovered a mysterious substance released by the intestine that stimulated the pancreas. They named it secretin, the very first hormone ever identified. They also coined the term hormone from the Greek word meaning to set in motion. Since then, our understanding has exploded. Think about insulin managing your blood sugar, adrenaline preparing you for fight or flight, or melatonin guiding you to sleep. These discoveries have earned numerous Nobel Prizes and have revolutionized medicine. Your hormones are like a finely tuned orchestra, ensuring that your growth, metabolism, emotions, and even who you're attracted to all work in perfect harmony. It's a silent, chemical masterpiece happening inside you right now. Have you ever wondered why humans are so good at running long distances? Our secret weapon isn't speed. It's our incredible ability to handle heat. Your body maintains a stable internal temperature, around 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit through a process called thermoregulation. And our number one tool for cooling down is sweating. A fascinating evolutionary theory known as persistence hunting suggests this was our original superpower. Proposed by Harvard's Daniel Lieberman, the idea is that our ancestors hunted prey not by being faster, but by being more relentless. Imagine early humans chasing an animal for hours under the hot African sun. While the animal, covered in fur, would quickly overheat and become exhausted, our ancestors could sweat freely, cooling their bodies as they ran. Eventually, the prey would collapse from heat exhaustion, making it an easy catch. So, our ability to sweat wasn't just a minor feature. It may have been the key to our survival and dominance long before we had sophisticated weapons. Your body isn't just built for bursts of strength. It's an endurance machine designed for strategy and persistence. Next, let's look at a part of our body that often gets a bad rap: fat. Specifically, the layer of tissue just beneath your skin called the hypodermis, or subcutaneous fat. It's so much more than just stored energy. Early anatomists like Auguste Robert Carrère began to map this layer and discovered its vital roles. Think of it as your body's built-in multi-tool. First, it's a shock absorber. When you bump into something, this fatty layer cushions the impact, protecting your muscles, bones, and internal organs from injury. Second, it's a thermal insulator. It traps heat, helping you stay warm in cold weather and maintain that stable internal temperature we just talked about. And third, it's a critical energy reserve. During times of scarcity, your body can tap into these fat stores to survive. Without the hypodermis, even minor impacts could be serious. Cold would be a constant threat, and we'd have no backup fuel tank. So, fat isn't a weakness. It's a brilliant evolutionary asset, a layer of protection, warmth, and resilience that has helped us thrive. Finally, let's turn to the most expressive part of our body, the human face. Your face is capable of conveying a universe of emotions without saying a single word, all thanks to dozens of small, intricate muscles working in perfect coordination. The scientific journey into understanding facial expressions began in the 19th century with a French neurologist named Guillaume Duchenne. Using electrical probes, he would stimulate individual facial muscles to see how they created different expressions. His work laid the foundation for everything that followed. Back then, in the 1960s and 70s, psychologist Paul Ekman took this research to a new level. He traveled the world and discovered that certain expressions for emotions like happiness, sadness, anger, and fear are universal across all human cultures. He also discovered micro-expressions, fleeting, involuntary facial movements that last less than a second. These tiny flashes can reveal a person's true feelings, even when they're trying to hide them. Today, Ekman's work is the basis for emotion recognition, AI, and it's used in fields from psychology to airport security. Your face isn't just a mask. It's a highly sophisticated communication device, speaking a silent, universal language that connects us all. From ancient bacteria to an orchestra of hormones, from endurance hunting to the secret language of your face, your body is an incredible marvel of evolution and biology. The more we learn, the more we realize how interconnected and beautifully designed we are. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey inside the human body. If you found this as fascinating as I do, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next exploration. See you in the next video. Have you ever thought about what makes you, you? Our bodies are incredible machines, full of secrets and surprises that scientists are still uncovering. Today, we're rediving into 7 mind-blowing facts about the human body that will make you see yourself in a whole new light. Let's start with the very code of life, DNA. Did you know that DNA is the most efficient storage device ever created? It sounds like science fiction, but it's true. The entire genetic blueprint to build a human being is coiled up into about 2 meters of DNA inside every single one of your cells. Now, here's where it gets crazy. If you were to convert the information from just one cell's DNA into digital data, it would be around 750 megabytes. That's like a full-length movie. But what about all your cells combined? The total data stored in your body's DNA is estimated to be around 150 zettabytes. To put that into perspective, 1 zettabyte is a trillion gigabytes. Your body holds more information than all the data centers on Earth combined. Forget hard drives or cloud storage. The future of data might just be biological. Next, let's talk about something we all do without thinking: expressing emotions. Have you ever wondered if we learn to smile or frown by watching others? The answer is no. Body language is universal and inborn. Studies have shown that people who are blind from birth, who have never seen another person's face, still produce the exact same facial expressions as sighted individuals. They smile when they're happy, scowl when they're angry, and their eyes widen in surprise. This tells us that these fundamental expressions aren't learned. They're hardwired into our nervous system. This idea isn't new either. The famous naturalist Charles Darwin wrote about it way back in 1872 in his book, The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals, long before we had the neuroscience to prove him right. Now, let's move down to your stomach. Have you ever had a gut feeling or felt butterflies in your stomach? There's a real scientific reason for that. Your gut is often called our second brain. Hidden in the walls of your digestive system is a complex network of neurons. It's called the enteric nervous system, or ENS. This system contains over 100 million neurons. That's more than you have in your entire spinal cord. What's truly amazing is that the ENS can operate completely on its own, without any input from the brain in your head. It manages digestion, releases enzymes, and even produces mood-influencing neurochemicals like serotonin. This constant chatter between your gut and your brain, known as the gut-brain axis, means your digestive system doesn't just process food. It actively influences your emotions and decisions. Here is a fact that will change how you see yourself on a fundamental level. You are a symbiotic life form. Inside almost every one of your cells, except for your red blood cells, are tiny power-generating organelles called mitochondria. But mitochondria weren't always part of us. Billions of years ago, they were free-living bacteria. Our ancient single-celled ancestors swallowed them, but instead of digesting them, they formed a permanent partnership. This evolutionary alliance was the key step that led to the development of all complex, multicellular life on Earth, including us. Mitochondria even have their own separate DNA, a quiet reminder that we are the product of a primordial symbiosis, a living, breathing team of organisms working together. Have you ever had a word right on the tip of your tongue? You know it, you can feel it, you can almost hear it, but you just can't say it. This frustrating experience is a real neurological phenomenon known as the tip-of-it-ing state. It's not that you've forgotten the word. What's happening is a glitch in your brain's retrieval process. Your brain has successfully accessed the word's meaning, but it's failed to connect to its phonetic form the sound pattern needed to actually speak it. This was first described in detail by the psychologist William James back in 1890. It reveals just how complex the seemingly simple act of remembering and speaking a word really is. It's a multi-step process, and sometimes one of those steps just momentarily fails. We all know sleep is important, but do you know why? It's not just about resting your body. Sleep literally cleans your brain. While you're in deep slumber, your brain activates a special waste disposal system called the glymphatic system. Think of it as a microscopic cleaning crew that goes to work every night. This system flushes out toxic proteins and metabolic waste that build up in your brain during the day. One of these toxins is beta-amyloid, a protein strongly linked to Alzheimer's disease. This groundbreaking discovery, made in 2013, showed us that sleep is an essential maintenance routine for our brain, helping to preserve our mental sharpness and long-term health. So, getting a good night's sleep is one of the best things you can do for your brain. Finally, let's talk about the pain of a broken heart or being left out. Is it just a metaphor or is it real? Science says it's very real. Social pain, like the kind you feel from rejection or exclusion, activates the very same regions in your brain that process physical pain. From an evolutionary standpoint, this makes perfect sense. For our ancestors, being part of a group was critical for survival. Isolation was a direct threat to life. So, the brain evolved a powerful alarm system to warn us when our social connections are at risk. Brain imaging studies have confirmed this, showing that the sting of loneliness or heartbreak isn't just in your head, your brain literally interprets it as pain. So there you have it, 7 incredible facts that show just how amazing the human body truly is. From the data stored in our DNA to the second brain in our gut, we are walking wonders of biology. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this journey into the human body, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more fascinating content. See you next time. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel, where we dive deep into the most mind-blowing facts about science and the world around us. Today, we're going to explore 6 incredible truths that will completely change how you see reality, your own body, and even the nature of genius itself. From the secrets hidden in our blood to the surprising power of cold, get ready for a journey that blurs the line between science fiction and science fact. Let's get started. Our first fact sounds like something straight out of a sci-fi movie. Your vision is a prediction, not a photograph. Think about that for a second. What you're seeing right now isn't a live feed of reality. It's a clever simulation created by your brain. Here's how it works. When light hits your eyes, it takes your brain about 100 to 150 milliseconds to process that information. Now, that might not sound like a lot, but in a fast-moving world, it's a significant delay. If we perceive the world with that lag, we'd constantly be living in the very recent past. Imagine trying to catch a baseball or dodge something coming at you. You'd be reacting to where things asterisk were asterisk, not where they asterisk are asterisk. To solve this problem, your brain has become an expert fortune teller. It takes the incoming sensory data, analyzes patterns and trajectories, and constantly projects what's going to happen a fraction of a second into the future. So, when you reach out to catch that moving ball, your brain isn't showing you its current position. It's showing you where it predicts the ball asterisk will be asterisk when your hand gets there. What we call seeing is actually a seamless blend of real-time sensory input and a sophisticated neural forecast. You're not just observing reality. Your brain is actively constructing it for you, one prediction at a time. It's a continuous, life-saving illusion. Next up, let's talk about something we've all heard of, but maybe don't fully appreciate: the placebo effect. It's often dismissed as just mind over matter, but the science shows it's much more than that. The placebo effect is the very real chemistry of belief. When you truly believe you're receiving a treatment that will help you, your brain can be prompted to produce its own powerful pain-relieving molecules, like endorphins. These are the body's natural opiates. The evidence for this is stunning. Groundbreaking studies from top institutions like Harvard and Beth Israel Deaconess Medical Center have used fMRI scans to watch the brain's response to placebos. What they found is remarkable. When a person who is in pain takes a placebo, like a simple sugar pill, the areas of their brain associated with pain signaling actually quiet down. The brain activity looks strikingly similar to how it would if they had taken an actual painkiller. This tells us that faith and expectation aren't just comforting emotional states. They have the power to literally reprogram our brain's chemistry, triggering tangible, measurable, biological changes. Belief isn't just a feeling, it's a physiological force. Now, let's get cool. Literally, our third fact is that cold saves lives. In the world of emergency medicine, there's a powerful technique known as therapeutic hypothermia. This is where doctors intentionally cool a patient's body down to between 32 and 34 degrees Celsius, which is about 90 to 93 degrees Fahrenheit. Why would they do this? Con. In critical situations like a cardiac arrest or a major stroke, the biggest enemy is time. When the heart stops or blood flow to the brain is cut off, cells are starved of oxygen and begin to die within minutes, leading to irreversible damage. By cooling the body, doctors dramatically slow down the body's metabolism. Every biological process, including the rate at which cells consume oxygen, grinds to a near halt. This essentially buys time for the medical team. It gives them a crucial window to perform complex heart surgeries, clear blockages, and restore blood flow before permanent organ damage occurs. In a way, the cold acts as a biological pause button. It puts the body into a state of suspended animation, preserving life when every single second matters. It's a race against the clock, and cold is one of the most powerful tools doctors have to slow that clock down. All right, let's switch gears from the body to the mind. What is the source of genius and creativity? We often imagine it as a perfectly organized, efficient brain. But what if I told you that genius might actually come from noise? Recent studies are turning our understanding of creativity on its head. They suggest that a key ingredient for innovation might be something called neuronal noise, the spontaneous, seemingly random electrical activity that's always happening in our brains. For a long time, scientists thought this noise was just a flaw, a bit of static in the system. But the new theory is that this randomness is actually a feature, not a bug. It helps the brain break out of rigid, established patterns of thinking. This neural chaos can promote new and unexpected connections between different ideas and concepts that would unnormally be linked. Think of it like shaking up a box of puzzle pieces. You might see new combinations you'd never notice otherwise. A fascinating study published in the journal Nature in 2023 even showed that applying mild electrical stimulation to the brain could boost a person's creativity. The likely reason? It increased this beneficial neural randomness. So, the next time your mind feels a little scattered, don't worry. It might just be your brain cooking up its next brilliant idea. From the abstract realm of ideas, let's move to the physical substance of memory. Where are our memories stored? For a long time, the answer was in the connections between neurons, but that was a bit vague. How are those connections maintained for decades? Our fifth fact gives us a more concrete answer. There appears to be a specific molecule of memory. Here's the incredible part. When a long-term memory is formed, the CPEB3 protein changes its shape and becomes incredibly stable. It then works to strengthen and stabilize the synapse, the physical connection point between two neurons. By reinforcing that specific connection, it ensures that the information encoded there remains accessible for years, even a lifetime. This discovery was a game changer because it showed that memories aren't just fleeting electrical signals. They have a physical, structural basis. Your most cherished memories aren't just in your mind. They are physically built into the molecular architecture of your brain. Finally, our last fact brings us to a question that fascinates us all. How old are you, really? Your driver's license might tell you one number, but your body might have a very different story. Today, your blood can reveal your true age. This is thanks to incredible modern tests called epigenetic clocks. These tests don't look at your DNA sequence itself, but at the chemical markers attached to it. Specifically, they measure something called DNA methylation. Think of these as tiny chemical tags that accumulate on our genes throughout our lives. The pattern of these methylation tags changes in predictable ways as we age. A researcher at UCLA named Steve Horvath developed one of the most famous epigenetic clocks by analyzing these patterns. These clocks are so precise that they can calculate a person's biological age with remarkable accuracy. This biological age might be older or younger than your chronological age, depending on your lifestyle, stress levels, and overall health. An unhealthy lifestyle can accelerate your biological clock, while a healthy one can slow it down. These clocks are now being used to track the impact of diet and stress, and even to predict the risk of age-related diseases. It's a powerful new tool that shows us that aging isn't just about the number of birthdays you've had. It's a dynamic biological process we can potentially influence. And there you have it, 6 facts that reveal just how complex, strange, and wonderful our world and our bodies truly are. From our brains predicting the future to the physical molecules holding our memories, science continues to uncover layers of reality we never knew existed. Which of these facts blew your mind the most? Let me know down in the comments. I love reading your thoughts and insights. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this journey into the frontiers of science, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives every week. Until next time, stay curious. Welcome back to our channel, where we uncover the most astonishing secrets of the human body and mind. Today, we're re-diving deep into a new set of incredible facts that will change the way you see yourself. Let's get started. Did you know that not all tears are created equal? Tears of stress and tears of joy are chemically different from the ones you shed when chopping onions. Those onion tears are mostly just salt and water. But emotional tears, the ones that come with deep sadness or overwhelming happiness, are packed with stress hormones like ACTH and natural pain-relieving molecules called enkephalins. So, when you have a good cry, you're not just showing emotion, you're literally removing stress from your body and chemically soothing yourself. It's your body's own built-in therapy session. Here's something that sounds like science fiction, but is very real: microchimerism. This is the phenomenon where traces of another life can live inside you. After a woman gives birth, some cells from the baby can remain inside her body for decades. These cells can travel to different organs, even crossing into the brain. Scientists believe they might influence the immune system or help with tissue healing. It means a mother physically carries cellular fragments of her children for the rest of her life. A beautiful, invisible bond that lasts long after birth. Next, let's talk about time. Have you ever noticed that during a scary or intense moment, time seems to slow down? Well, time isn't actually changing. Your perception of it is. Time is, in a way, an emotion. During moments of danger, stress, or even intense excitement, your amygdala, the brain's emotional center, goes into overdrive. It floods your brain with extra detail, creating a much richer and denser memory of the event. Because so much information is packed into that short period, it feels longer when you look back on it. So, time doesn't slow down your brain, just speeds up its recording process. Now, what about that voice inside your head, your inner monologue? It turns out, it's not just your imagination. When you talk to yourself inside your head, the exact same brain areas are activated as when you're speaking out loud. This includes Broca's area and Wernicke's area, the brain's language centers. Research from the University of British Columbia has shown that this internal dialogue is crucial for regulating your emotions, planning your next moves, and solving complex problems. Your silent voice is a genuine, powerful neurological process. What happens when you're doing nothing at all? You might think your brain is taking a break, but it's actually hard at work. When you're resting, daydreaming, or just letting your mind wander, your brain switches to what's called the default mode network, or DMN. This network is responsible for reflecting on your past, thinking about yourself, and imagining the future. It's a key player in creativity and self-awareness. Interestingly, disruptions in the DMN have been linked to conditions like Alzheimer's disease and depression. This groundbreaking discovery showed us that doing nothing is an active and essential mental state. This next fact is profound. Trauma can be inherited. Through a field called epigenetics, we've learned that severe stress or trauma can leave chemical marks on a person's DNA. These marks don't change the DNA sequence itself, but they can affect how genes are expressed in the next generation. For example, studies have shown that descendants of people who endured immense tragedies, like the Holocaust or the Holodomor famine, may have a higher vulnerability to anxiety and stress disorders. It's a sobering reminder that trauma doesn't just scar our memories. It can leave a biological echo that passes down through a family. On a more empowering note, exercise literally builds your brain. When you work out, your muscles release a special protein called cathepsin. This protein travels through your bloodstream, crosses into your brain, and stimulates the growth of new neurons, particularly in the hippocampus. The hippocampus is the part of your brain that's central to memory and learning. So, every time you go for a run, lift weights, or even take a brisk walk, you not just strengthening your body, you reactively strengthening your cognitive power and growing your brain. Here's a paradox for our modern, clean world. Our immunity might actually be trained by dirt. The hygiene hypothesis, first proposed back in 1989, suggests that our obsession with cleanliness might be backfiring. The idea is that a lack of exposure to everyday microbes and bacteria in childhood leaves our immune system poorly trained. Without this microbial boot camp, the immune system can get confused. It might start overreacting and attacking harmless things like pollen, leading to allergies or even attacking the body's own cells, causing autoimmune disorders. A little bit of dirt might be exactly what our immune systems need to learn what's truly a threat. Let's talk about aging and the zombie cells that contribute to it. As we get older, our bodies accumulate what are known as senescent cells. These are cells that have stopped dividing but refuse to die, much like zombies. They just hang around, releasing a cocktail of harmful inflammatory molecules that damage the healthy tissues around them. This process is a major driver of aging and age-related diseases. The exciting news is that scientists are developing senolytic, drugs that can selectively find and destroy these zombie cells. In animal studies, these drugs have been shown to extend healthy lifespan, offering a tantalizing glimpse into a future where we can combat aging at a cellular level. Now, how about food that feeds your mind? Meet psychobiotics. These are specific types of probiotics, or good bacteria, that have a direct positive impact on your mental health. They work by changing the composition of your gut microbiome. This is crucial because of the gut-brain axis, a communication highway connecting your digestive system and your brain. These psychobiotics can influence the production of key neurotransmitters. For instance, about 90% of your body's serotonin, the feel-good chemical, is produced in your gut. Research has shown that certain psychobiotics can help reduce symptoms of anxiety and depression, proving that mental well-being truly can begin with what you eat. Ever wished you could teleport? Well, your brain can, in a way. Deep inside your hippocampus, you have specialized neurons called place cells and grid cells. Together, they act as your brain's internal GPS, mapping out the world around you as you move. But here's the amazing part. These same cells fire not only when you're physically navigating a space, but also when you're simply imagining being somewhere else, recalling a memory, or visualizing the future. It's as if your mind briefly teleports to another time and place. This incredible discovery about our brain's navigation system earned the Nobel Prize in 2014. Finally, let's end with a beautiful paradox. Human strength begins in weakness. Compared to other mammals, human infants are born incredibly helpless and dependent. A baby deer can stand within minutes. A human baby can't even hold its head up. But this extreme vulnerability is our greatest evolutionary advantage. It means our brains, which are highly plastic but underdeveloped at birth, have a long period to learn and adapt within a complex social and cultural environment. Our prolonged childhood, our dependence on others, it's what allows for deep education, incredible adaptability, and ultimately, our exceptional intelligence. Our weakness as infants is the very foundation of our power as adults. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey through the marvels of the human experience. If you found these facts as fascinating as we did, please hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss our next video. We'll see you next time.